With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello, so question says this, the oxidation state of potassium, right, in K2O and K2O2 and KO2 respectively, right? So we have to tell the oxidation state of potassium, right? So we have a three compound, one is K2O, right? So potassium oxide, and another is K2O2. It is a it is peroxide, not superoxide, and KO2, this is superoxide, right? So as we know that in the case of oxide, the oxidation state of oxygen here it is -2, right? Here it is -2, and in case of peroxide, the oxidation state of oxygen is taken as -1, and in the case of superoxide, the oxidation state of oxygen is -1/2, right? So this is the oxidation state in case of different oxide, right? So this is the case of oxides, and this is the case of peroxide, and this is the case of superoxide, right? So let's calculate the oxidation state of potassium, right? So let's calculate the oxidation state of potassium, right? So if I talk about the K2O, right? So if I talk about K2O, so let's start solving it, right? So here 2x, right? So I can assign the oxidation state of potassium is x, and here 2 potassium, so I can write as 2x. In case of oxide, the oxidation state of oxygen is -2, right? So I can write here as -2, and since the overall compound is neutral, so I can put here it is equals to 0, right? So 2x is equals to 2x, so I can write here as it is equals to 2x is equals to 2, right? So 2x is equals to 2, and I will get the value of x that is equals to +1, right? So I will get the value of x that is equals to +1, right? So in this way, I can say this, the oxidation state of potassium, here it is +1, right? So here it is +1, right? So this comes out to be +1, right? So now let's calculate the oxidation state of K2O2, right? So now let's calculate the oxidation state of K2O2, right? So this is K2O2, right? And we know that in case of this is peroxide, right? In the case of peroxide, the oxidation state of oxygen is -1, right? So because oxygen is acting as a, here it is O2 negative, right? So I can write here as, here if I want to find out the oxidation state of potassium, so I can write here as 2x, right? So I can write as 2x minus, right? So here you can see this, there are 2 oxygen, right? So I can write here as this is 2 oxygen and 1 -1, right, over here, right? So because the oxidation state of the charge over here is -1, right? So it is equals to 0, right? So it is equals to 0, right? So I can write here as the 2x is equals to the 2x is equals to +2, right? So it is equals to +2, right? It is equals to +2 because -2 comes go there, so it will becomes +2, right? So the value of x comes out to be +1, right? So the value of x comes out to be +1, right? So here again we are getting the oxidation state of potassium is +1, right? So we are getting the oxidation state of +1, right? So now we'll find the oxidation state of potassium in superoxide, right? In case of superoxide. So if I try to find out the oxidation state of potassium in superoxide, and we know that the oxidation state of oxygen in the case of superoxide, it is -1/2, right? So let's try to solve it, right? So we know that the oxidation state of potassium is, we suppose it x. So here you can write here there are 2 oxygen, so I can write as 2, and we know that the charge oxygen state of here it is -1/2, right? So it is -1/2, right? And overall compound is neutral, so I can write here as like this, right? So this seems to be, so here I can write as x, so here 2 to cancel out, so x -1 is equals to 0. So the value of x comes out to be +1, right? So the value of x comes out to be +1, right? That means the oxidation state of the oxidation state of potassium in superoxide, in this potassium superoxide, comes out to be +1, right? So the comes out to be +1, right? So in this way, I can say this, we are getting the oxidation state of potassium in all these oxide, that is oxide, peroxide, and superoxide, that is equals to +1, right? So that is equals to +1, right? So I can say this in case of K2O, in case of K2O2, and in case of KO2, in all these cases, here we are getting the oxidation state is +1, right? Here we are getting the oxidation state is +1, right? And here we are getting the oxidation state is +1, right? So in all these cases, we are getting the oxidation state of potassium is +1, right? So let's check the answer. So option A is +1, +1, and +1. Option B is +1, +2, +4, and option C is +1, +2, +2, and option D is +1, +4, and +2, right? So in this way, you can see here clearly that the option A will be the right answer, right? So the option A will be the right answer. In this option, we are getting the +1, +1 oxidation state of all the potassium in all these oxides, peroxide and superoxide, right? So in this way, I can say that option B, C, and D will be the wrong answer, and now we are left with the correct answer, that is option A, right? So hope this answered your question. So thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.